So today we have a special guest on DigiVation Network who is going to tell us how his organization is revolutionizing access in the financial service and debt recovery and management with the use of technology. He's no other than Obule, the co-founder of Debtrecuva.
Debtrecuva is a debt management company, so we help financial institutions with debt management, with portfolio management. So like I always say, in the lending process, debt collection is an integral part of the lending process. So when you give out loans to customers, now the most important part of that process is how that money is going to come back. So that is where Debtrecuva has positioned itself to ensure that when loans go out, they come back. Because the easiest part is giving out the loans, the most difficult part is getting it back.
Okay, that's why we have to say the recovery process is actually the most challenging
yes,
part
it
of
is more challenging because a lot of Nigerians lack financial literacy. So they think that these loans are grants or government just gave them for free, regardless of the company that gave it to them. So you have to explain to them that repaying your loans is a very serious business.
Okay, recently, as at April, the federal government actually gave license to some mobile app operators in Nigeria, about 173,000 in April, and a few of them were on probation. But as at 8 days ago, we also find out that 50%, like 50 companies, no app, were also given license by the federal government. How would you compare that service, that's the new process of loaning to Nigeria, with Nigeria and foreign countries?
Okay, so for me, credit is a catalyst. So you want to buy a phone, you have salary. The salary is coming at the end of the month, right? But you need the phone now. So what credit does is help you buy that phone, and you can split payments across. So the proliferation of these lending companies is a win for the industry. What it means is that every common Nigerian has access to funding. So unlike before, if you don't have credit history, you cannot just walk into any commercial bank to say, give me money and get a response in 10 minutes. So what these loan apps have done is they've democratized lending. They've said, you can, by just getting your phone, downloading their app, yes, you can just borrow, from the comfort of your home and get the money maybe in 10 minutes or in 5 minutes. So that is what they've done. So it's good for the Nigerian market. But a lot of financial literacy needs to be also introduced into the market. So Nigerians need to understand that when I take money, I should pay the money back. Do you understand? So you have a lot of defaults around these loan apps. So because a lot of Nigerians just take this money, take from here, take from there, take from there. So they don't understand that these monies have to be repaid. So that's why we are here. Apart from the fact that we are also giving, ensuring that they repay their loans, we are also doing spaces on Twitter, Instagram Live, where we educate Nigerians on financial literacy, the implication of accessing credit and repaying it back for your credit rating. So a lot of Nigerians don't understand. So that is why we are there to help them understand. So I also employ a lot of financial institutions to also help them understand. When you tell somebody that the loan is 100,000 and it's at 4%, they need to know that this 4% is monthly. So if it's 10 months, it's 4 times 10, it's 40%. So Nigerians will say, when we are not calling them to repay the loan, they will say, I did not know that. So a lot of education needs to be pushed into the market too.
All right. So how would you compare debt recovery with other financial banking sector? What makes your own different or standard?
Okay, so we employ technology. We have an evolving and nimble infrastructure around the debt management process. So the difference is we use a lot of predictive analysis. We use behavioral engineering, where we understand that this customer has a capacity issue, meaning he has capacity to repay, right? This customer does not have capacity. This one is willing, this one is unwilling. So by our data analytics, we can segment to know that, this customer has a financial difficulty, this one is just unwilling. So with that, we can place the customers in different buckets, analyze this portfolio, and we're better able to communicate with these customers, understanding that this is the bucket this customer is in. He has a financial difficulty. We know how to approach, on a case-by-case basis. Or this customer it's overburdened because it took from this and this and this, it's overburdened. We understand how to help that customer. Do you understand? So with our predictive analysis, we understand how to place customers in different buckets and help them come out of the debt.
Now, we know that the issue of all these things that you're saying can be as a result of the condition Nigeria is actually facing at this time, the harsh economic crisis, and this is the reason why most people are actually considering using loan app. But when you look at the case of other countries and how they're managing this new trend, because this Debtrecuva is a new face in Nigeria, right? There's the loaning app is something new actually in Nigeria at this time. So my question, which you didn't actually give me an answer to, is how would you compare the service delivery to the Western world?
Okay, so in the Western world, they have data, right? So they have a fantastic data system where, you cannot take credit and not repay because it affects your credit score. And if it affects your credit score, it affects your rent. If you want to get an apartment, they will check your credit score before they will give an apartment. But in Nigeria, that is not the case. You understand? So I can mistake my house address now. I might just move, and my bank will not know that I've moved.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They will not call me to update. As a matter of fact, the address I stayed some 10 years ago, I still some of the address on some of my data, right? So the data is the issue. Data gathering is the issue. Do you understand? So credit is everywhere in the country, in the world. So but in Nigeria, the proliferation of these lending apps, as I said before, is a win, right? But now the data gathering, access to data is a problem. So what the government has done is they are introducing BVN, which they introduced these names. This is your national identification. Yes. So that way they are trying to see how they can track people with their data. Oh, you have one NIN number, right? You have only one BVN. So with your BVN, I can check if you borrowed from this particular lender or if you borrowed from this particular lender with your BVN. So that way, if you are owing this person now in the country, if you are owing, you cannot travel out of the country because even the embassies now check. They check credit bureau. Do you understand? Yeah, they check about their criteria. So if you took money from any lending company and you want to run away, you want to go to the UK, for example, and you are on default, they will check and advise you to go and get your letter of non-indebtedness. Do you understand? So these things are just what the government is trying to put into the industry to sanitize the industry. Lending itself is a win. Lending is important. Do you understand? People need money, financial situations, lending is important, but now we need to understand how to repay these loans. That is where Debtrecuva comes into the picture.
So do you have any success story?
Yes, we do.
Here for a particular period of time?
Yeah, we've been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Actually, we've been here for more than 3 years. We've been here for 8 years. But Debtrecuva just digitized our processes.
I like that word.
So we were traditional. We were collecting traditionally before. So we understand the trend. Everybody's going digital. There are digital lending apps now. So why would we continue to do the things the old way? So we decided to digitize our processes. So that is how Debtrecuva was bettered in 2021. So and since then we've collected for major financial institutions, the biggest financial institutions in the country. We collect for them, and we are doing amazing. Wow. For a company, people raise money, raise capital. We are bootstrapping, and we are doing amazing. So it's a win on its own. It's a fantastic story.
Okay, now I've actually gotten an inch about these issues of getting loan. You move from the traditional way to the modern way, which is technology and digitization. Now there is this issue we face, like when some customers want to get loan, you start at the point of collecting their data, you start seeing issues of insecurity whereby someone will start saying so person collected money from my account. You start getting ill calls and numbers to threaten lives of people that have borrowed loan. How are you able to manage these security issues, data concerns of your customers?
Okay, so we are an ethical debt collection company. So ethical means that we are confined by data protection. So data protection means I should not divulge your information to a third party, right? So we have some unregulated lenders that do this, but this is not the norm, right? So if you take a loan from X loan app or lending company, your information is not supposed to get to every contact in your phone. This is unethical. We see these cases where people send messages that Mr. So took money, is a criminal. It is not supposed to be so. It's a violation of their data protection policy. Right? You understand? So Nigerians, on radio, on my way to the office today, I heard that there are some unregulated financial institutions that the government is trying to clamp down on now. So those ones are the people that send this kind of. So the government is telling Nigerians now that don't borrow from these people. Yes. Your information is not safe with them because your data will leak to the public. Naming and shaming is not allowed in the industry. So it is before, when there's no regulation, where you can just call somebody else to say this person took a loan. It's not allowed, except the person you are calling is privy to that loan. Okay. You understand? That means you submitted that person's name as a guarantor, and that person is privy to that facility. For example, in a bank, the bank will ask you bring a guarantor. So that guarantor is aware they are taking XYZ amount. So that person, if you default, they can say, guarantor, I gave this person XYZ amount and he's default. Okay. Do you understand? But if the person is not privy to the facility, why involve the person in the first place? So this is what the data protection is talking about. So, because we don't have access to the lenders we work with, give us what we need to work. So they don't give us access to the data of your contact and all that. No. So the clients we work with also follow the data protection regulation. So the data we have, we work with data we have. That is interfacing with individual customers that took the loan, not a third party.
Wow, quite interesting conversation. But we know we can't actually go out of this without talking about the legal aspects.
Yes.
How do you position that, bringing in legal authorities into handling issues concerning loan and management?
Okay.
It's a whole lot.
Yes. So talking about the legal perspective, this is nano loans. So somebody took 10,000 naira. Somebody took 5,000 naira. You cannot take the person to court. It's nano loan. Okay. Do you understand? So that is where we come in. So we come in because we manage the situation till the person pays. You can't take somebody, it doesn't make sense. So you take me to court because I took 10,000 naira. And me too, because I know that I don't have to pay the money, I will lawyer out too. And there will be stalemate. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Yeah. So that is why these lenders that we work with commit these accounts to us, these cases, because they understand that we are skilled in negotiation. We are skilled in persuading these people to understand why they need to pay. Mm-hmm. So if you have financial difficulty, we can help you restructure. Restructure being that, you took 10,000, you don't have. Okay, can you pay 2,000 naira every week? Okay. We make it realistic enough for you to be able to relate with. You understand? So we even give them discounts. Once the lender say, okay, give my people 20% discount so that they can be encouraged to pay. It's an incentive to pay. So we do all this so that we don't have to go all the legal, no. Yeah. Do you understand? So that these customers will understand that you really have my interest at heart. I have financial difficulty and you are coming with this offering, give me discount so that I can come out of this. So these are part of the mechanisms we employ.
Yes, because I was going to ask about some challenges, because there's no business that do not have issues or challenges when it comes to anything you're doing. Yes. And now this is an issue of money. Yes. And when it comes to money, it's pursuing a customer is a whole lot of tax. So how do you manage challenge in this industry?
So this industry is hard. It's hard work. That's why you don't have a lot of competition. It's hard work. You roll your sleeves and start working. It's hard work, extremely hard work. So challenges come. We take the challenges as they come. We solve them and we keep moving. Challenges of personnel management. We have lots of staff, as you can see. Yes, over 100 people we manage. So personnel management is a challenge in any business. So we manage that challenge. And finances is also a challenge. You have to pay salaries, you have to run the office. So in Nigeria context, there's challenge, but as they come, you chase those challenges with the aim at solving them. So we solve them as they come. So we are compliant. So immediately we hear that this is what the government, and the government has been favorable in terms of now there's a startup act. So they are favoring startups. Now, the government wants to ensure that startups succeed. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? So that's why we immediately we hear that we are also abreast with regulation, we are abreast with what the government is doing, we are abreast with, our lenders will tell us, the government is saying this and this and this, so all third-party contractors working for us should comply. So immediately we comply with all those regulations. So we are abreast with.
Okay, so talking on a larger scale for the financial sector and for the startups you just mentioned, how will debt recovery management in Nigeria's economy help the startups evolve in this current economic climate?
Okay, so most startups don't do lending. Not all startups do lending, right? So I think this question should be tailored to startups in the lending space.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that is why I told you we use our predictive analysis. Now, with our predictive analysis, we can understand this borrower as different from this borrower. Their cases are different. So with that in mind, we can advise our lenders, who is our client, to say, oh, this is the true picture. This is the insight on this borrower. That is your customer. So with this insight, you can better use it to adapt for subsequent lending you want to. Do you understand? So we have our insights, we have our data that we share with our clients to say, use this information to better equip yourself for subsequent lending. Yeah, so the future is bright, because this industry is still very new. It's still very new. The future is bright. We see a lot of players coming to the industry. We want to see the process refined. It's continuous improvement for us. So every time we refine the process, we want to be abreast with changing times. We want to understand what's happening and move with the times, so that we will not be a dinosaur stuck in the past. Yes, challenging experience. So starting up any business is challenging. Number one, you have to look at the financial constraint. We are bootstrapping. We are using our money to start. We didn't raise money from anywhere. So it's challenging. Having to scale the hurdle of raising money by yourself in these challenging climes. It's difficult to call somebody to say, I need 100 million naira now. So how are you going to get it? So it's tough. But we brace up. Tough times make tough soldiers. So we are used to it. So we embrace challenges as a stepping stone to our next level every time. So anytime challenges come, how do we see challenges is the problem. So our perspective is different. We see challenges as opportunities. That's how I wired my mind. So when I see challenges, I take challenges as an opportunity to the next level.
Sorry. So looking at the future prospects of Nigeria's financial sector, how do you think debt recovery will contribute to its success?
Okay, so it will contribute because it's still new. Now, these lending businesses are coming up away from the financial sector. How it will contribute is now most commercial banks now are starting lending retail-wise. Yeah, because they now saw that, these small players in the industry are facing their customers, right? So, and I have this customer too. So let me just provide a package so you see most commercial banks, they have a digital product for their customers. Small loan, you can access 10,000 naira. Now you cannot open an account with small. Now they are also trying to play in the industry. So it's working. It's helping everybody compete favorably. It's helping everybody. So with our collection, we can also advise them that, this is the type of people you should lend to. This is the type of people you should not lend to. This kind of people, if you lend to them, they will not pay. This kind of people, if you lend to them, they will pay. So all this data is important in the ecosystem. So one tree does not make a forest. So, everybody has to align, everybody has to harmonize. That's why I said favorable competition. So it's more of partnerships. It's more of alignment. It's more of, everybody working together to achieve the same goal. Yes.
Now, before I go to my final question, Nigeria is very, very large, and I'm sure you have plans to deploy in other states aside or your Lagos state and I think Obule that you have. Which other places are you actually looking at to ensure that this benefit, of debt recovery and loan management spread across all board?
Okay, so we don't deploy until the need arises for deployment. So if we have a lender that says, I want your presence in Akure, You understand? We have sleeper cells
Okay.
in this state. You know, we have agents in this state where immediately a lender says, I have my customer base in Onitsha, for example, immediately we'll deploy. I have a customer base in any place we deploy immediately. You know, because we are nimble. We are easy to move. It's tech, so we are nimble, so we can easily deploy as opposed to the traditional. So we are tech, we are young, we are fast, speed is important.
ready to go.
Yeah.
So for those looking at advice for those who want to go into the startup business, you know, most startups they come in and before you know it, they are out of business. What do you feel are those challenges that are making them go through or experience those kind of hurdles?
Okay, so I tell startup that number one, you want to set up a business in Nigeria. First step, problem definition. What is the problem? You've already defined the problem. Number two, solution development, right? You know the problem, you are developing the solution. Now, in your mind, because business is an assumption, you are assuming you will succeed. What if you fail, right? Every idea that comes to you comes by intuition. This will work. In your head, it will work. But reality might be different. So that is why after you've developed a solution, you have to validate your solution by testing your solution in the market. Do you understand? So before you even look for capital, you want to raise money, you just start. I prefer the lean approach to startup. It's called lean startup. You start small, validate your solution. So you are going to the market with this solution. Let me use customer feedback. Let me do a small sample size. Let me test this my solution with this particular sample.
Okay.
So when you test it, you get customer feedback. You can say, okay, let me iterate my design to suit this feedback. Let me keep changing to suit the feedback I'm getting before you now launch full time in the market. So because you use this feedback, you prioritize customer feedback. You use this feedback to iterate your designs, you keep changing. Then you see, oh, this particular business will not work. Let me change this business to another thing. Because I've already tested, I see that this market is not ready for this my business. Just like, let me now change to something else. Let me evolve to something else because you are prioritizing customers' feedback.
Okay.
So before you say you don't set up any business now, you have to, the business you are setting up not for yourself, it's for the customer. If the customer is not accepting that business, why are you bother? So you have to prioritize customer feedback. So number one, problem definition. Number two, solution development. Number three, solution validation. Very important.
Now, if I want to come to you now for the loan and the rest of, how is the process like and what your final words for?
Okay, so you want to, so what I hear you say is you want to give us your loan portfolio to help you manage.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll have a meeting. We need to understand the kind of lending you do, the market segment you focus on. So some lenders focus on businesses, SMEs.
Okay.
Some lenders focus on salary earners alone. Some lenders focus on both salary earners and everyday Nigerian. You understand? So we first need to establish what kind of customers you focus on. So with that, we now understand that, okay, this type of customer, because our process is tailor-made to suit your business offering. Yeah, so now tailor-make our approach to suit that particular business. Then we can now talk on commercials. So but we have to first understand the type of customers you lend to. So because we are not new in the industry, we practically understand the type of customer. If it's a business person, we will tailor-make our approach to suit the business. If it's an everyday Nigerian, if it's employed people who understand what to do. So this is just part of the first steps we take before we onboard lenders.
Okay, I don't want to go extra, but you actually yes, your last word.
People that want to build, keep building. Don't be discouraged by the economic situation. Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention. When things are tough, you become tougher. So keep building. Like I told you, the 3 points: build your problem definition. Number 2, solution development. And number 3, solution validation. Once you can do all this, you start. Don't be discouraged. Don't say, oh, there's no job out there. It's how you think that's most important. Your perspective to life is most important. If you say there's no job out there, there's no job for you. There's no money out there, there's no money for you. Money is everywhere. Young people are bringing innovations and they are making money. So why is your case different? It is your mindset. It is your perspective about life. So I'm a young man. I set out in my life. I've always been positive about life. And it's paying off today because of my perspective. It's not the government, it's not the situation, it is your perspective.
Thank you very much. This was quite nice and good chat having with you. It's your perspective to the young ones out there, the young innovators. Keep pushing. So next time.
For more on well-researched and balanced stories, events and interviews across business, tech innovation and lifestyle, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, www.youtube.com/DigiVation Network.